Hi everybody, it's 10:30. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to be doing a demonstration of Intuit Field Service Management. It is QuickBooks' dispatching and scheduling solution, and it integrates with whatever version of QuickBooks you're using, if that's the desktop or the online version. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the integration between QuickBooks Desktop and Intuit Field Service Management. So just a little bit about me before I get started. I am a reseller with Intuit, and I specialize in the product Intuit Field Service Management. I have signed up companies all over the country. So if you do want some references to the clients that I have signed up, I am absolutely willing to share the information of some of my clients that have kindly agreed to talk with prospective clients of mine. I'm just going to put my information up here on the screen. My phone number there is my office line, and that's my direct line, and you can get me there Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can check me out at fieldserviceadvisors.com, and you can find me on QuickBooks' national website, quickbooks.corrigo.com/local experts. I'm the third website down. And there is my email, rebecca@fieldserviceadvisors.com. So if you do want a one-on-one meeting, a free hour consultation, that is fine. We can meet after the webinar, so feel free to reach out to me. A recording of this demonstration is going to go out after the webinar concludes. So this is the home screen of Intuit Field Service Management. And if you do have a question, please go ahead and type it into the chat box, and I'll answer it live as we're going along. So I'm on the work order tab right now, and you can see we're on the pending view right now, and these are all of our active jobs. And I'm going to create a work order by hitting this new work order button. You can also access it here under the customer tab. So you can search for a customer in the green box here to pull up their profile, and then say new work order. At this point, I'm going to be hitting next. This is the area where you're going to be confirming any information with the client. And if the information is incorrect, you would just hit this edit button, and it would take you to the area where you could make those changes. You can see that we've got some service agreements on file with Craig. And then this drop down arrow here will allow you to confirm the phone number and the email. And then go ahead and proceed to the next step. And you can see there's 4 steps in creating a work order: selecting the customer, assigning the problem, giving it to a technician, and then reviewing and confirming it. And then you're finished, and a work order number would be assigned. So I'm going to go ahead and say we don't have heat today. Or sorry, no AC. It's a little bit more relevant for the summer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And right below here, you can see the site service. So all the service history. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say today, and you can choose any day on the calendar. We don't have any work orders on the board yet. I'm about to put one on, and this is the schedule view where you can see all of the jobs. And there aren't any jobs on the board at this moment for today, but what you can do is look next to the technician's name, and if they do have a 1 next to their name, that means if they have a number next to their name, that means that's the number of active jobs that they have at any given moment. So Chris Hawkins only has 1 active job. Matt Baker has 1. Rebecca has 1. So those jobs haven't yet been finished. And this is the window of time. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule Chris and Matt Baker as the helper. And I'm going to say next. And at this point, I'm going to say finish. Oh, okay, I just got that job on my tablet, and I'm going to pull that up on the screen. And you can use an Android or an Apple device. I'm using an iPad today. Okay, so I'm going to click on this app, Intuit Field Service, the white wrench with the blue background. And you see I've got 2 jobs here waiting for me to get picked up. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Oh, they're both the same customer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Craig here, and it's waiting for me to get picked up. As I change this status to say pickup to acknowledge that I've seen it, it'll change on the dispatch board at the office as well. So I'm just going to pull this up so you can see. So now it's changed, went from yellow to blue, and it's been picked up. We'll minimize that and bring back up my iPad. Now when I go ahead and I hit start, because I've arrived at the customer's location, you can see the dispatch board. We'll refresh it. Now it's green to let you know that the work has been started. So you can see what's going on in real time. I'll just make a smaller, oops. All right. So the work's been started. You can go ahead and click on the service address to get directions directly to the customer's location. You can call the customer by clicking on the number. If you're doing it from a tablet, you won't be able to dial out, but if it is downloaded on your phone, you would be able to get a call. Okay, I can go ahead and take some photos. It's my computer. Get another photo here. There's the treadmill desk that I need to be using more. All right. And this area, this text note area, this is internal communication between the technician and the office. So if there is something that the technician needs to say to the office that they don't want the customer to see, they would put it here. Customer said that they are no longer the contact. Mary Sue Ellen, the customer's daughter, is now the preferred contact. Her phone number is 612-589-2855. Her email is marysuellen14@gmail.com. Ralph said to contact his daughter to set up the next appointment. He thinks they are scheduled for a maintenance plan, but Mary Sue Ellen would know the details, period. Okay, so stuff like that, and I will show you where to access that note. So now I'm going to go ahead and complete the job. So I'm going to say completed, and I'm going to use my voice microphone down here. And you can use this on a voice microphone on an Android or an Apple device. Customer called in because they had no AC. I was able to fix the coil on the back of the AC unit, and now it seems to be working fine. I was on site for 2 hours, period. And I'm going to note that I was working on that AC unit. And now that it's been completed, I'm going to go over here to invoice total, and I'm going to accept a payment from this customer. So I'm going to say add new line item. I'm going to hit my magnifying glass. And these are all the price list categories, sorry, the price list items that are within QuickBooks. So if you don't have any price list items added, don't worry. It's not a requirement to use the system. You could absolutely have like one item, and that's fine, or no items. You could just create a generic item that says parts or labor, and they could fill it in. So let's say I used one anchor spring and I used, I'm just gonna attach my labor here. And I don't have a rate put in here because my rate changes depending upon what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my rate in for working on AC units. It's $150 an hour, and I'm gonna say done. At this point, I'm ready to go ahead and take a payment. So I'm gonna first grab a signature from the client. I'm gonna say sign invoice. Here's that invoice printout. I'm gonna turn my tablet around to the customer. Once they've reviewed that, I'm going to say accept, and I'm gonna grab a signature from them. Okay. And now I am going to go ahead and send that invoice off to them. And what they're going to receive is that preview that you had just showed them. And see, you can attach those picture notes if you want. And as you notice, that confidential text note was not an option to send. And now I'm going to say pay. And I'm going to say cash, check, or credit card. We're going to do a check today. And it's going to be from Craig Burton. Check number 1234. And if your technicians are not accepting payment in the field, they would just bypass this step. They would not fill out this invoice field. They would just use the work done note to say what they did on the job, and then they would move on to their next job. And they would email off that receipt. So if they were not accepting a payment on site, and they still wanted to grab a signature from the client, that would be fine. They would just grab a signature on the work order from this screen, and they would hit the square with the arrow through it, and they would accept a customer signature on the work order. So this is what they would show the customer. And then they would send off the work order. It would say work order signature to the customer. So that's if, they weren't accepting a payment. And then if they did think of something after the job was finished and they needed to come back, they can come back here to work done description, and they can continue where they left off. So now the only thing for me to do is to move on to my next job, and you can find that under waiting for pickup. So let's go and see how that work order came back to the browser for the office to see. So I'm going to go to my completed job, and there it is right at the top. And I can see that it's been paid by a check. I can take a look at this invoice. All right, looks good to me. If there is anything amiss, you can take it out of the approved stage and move it to prepared or not prepared, and that'll allow you to add line items to that invoice. But if everything looks great, I'm going to leave it as approved. And now I'm going to go ahead and open up QuickBooks to show you how that invoice is going to come over. Oh, okay. So I'm using QuickBooks Enterprise today. And if you do have QuickBooks Enterprise, you're in luck because you already are getting one free user. Second, I can't talk while putting in my password. You already are getting one free user with QuickBooks Enterprise, so I can go ahead and activate that user for you if that's something you're interested in doing free of charge. So we could get you a live account going, and you could test it out. If you do have Enterprise, that is a fantastic thing. If you do have Pro or Premier, that's fine. You would just have to pay the $35 per month to get one user on the system. Okay, so I'm going to go to the File menu. And if you do have QuickBooks Online, the synchronization is live. So the invoice would already be over in QuickBooks Online. Once, if a technician takes a payment in the field or a payment is marked as approved from the browser, then that's when it would move over to QuickBooks Online. Here we do have to run a synchronization on the File menu and if you have QuickBooks Desktop, which is fine. And I'm going to say yes. And now the synchronization box is going to come up, and this should only take just a few minutes. And I tell my clients that they should run the sync at least once a day. And this would push over any customer changes that were made or any new customers that were added. And then of course, any invoices that were taken. So now it's just going to proceed to the next step. And if you are evaluating other options besides Intuit Field Service, QuickBooks' solution, I would request in the demonstration that you receive that they do show you the synchronization between the two systems, because that is the biggest complaint that I hear of people coming over from other systems, is that the synchronization is just not good. So I would ask to see a demonstration of the sync if that's something, if you are considering other systems. Okay. I choose to put the initials of my employee on the invoice, so that's what that is. Okay, so it's got 4 approved invoices here. I guess I use Craig Burton a lot in my examples. Okay, so now these are all going to be added over in QuickBooks. And the initial synchronization between QuickBooks and Intuit Field Service, it takes an hour for every 1,000 customers you have. But we would have to only be on the phone for the first 30 minutes to initiate the sync. And then after that, it gets rolling on its own and you could just leave it run. So we could start the sync during the after hours, and then it could run over the weekend. That's usually the best way to do a sync. And we do not have to be in single user mode. So that's always helpful to know. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to my customer center and locate. And just to let you know, Corrigo is the company that created Intuit Field Service Management for QuickBooks, and it is a QuickBooks product. So, but Corrigo does the support. So they offer customer support from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and it's available by appointment as well, over email. So whatever you prefer, and of course I'm available to call as well for support. Oh, so this is coming up again. So here is that invoice that we just took in the field, and it is showing paid. And there's that description of the work that was done. And of course, you can edit any of this information. If you wanted to go ahead and send this off to the customer, if you wanted to email them this, of course, it's been emailed from the field, but you could always email it again here from QuickBooks. I'm just going to bring back up the PowerPoint here just to go over some pricing with you. So if you've got between 1 and 10 people using the system, it's $35 per user per month. If you have over 10, it goes down to $31 per user per month. A user would be anybody in the office that would be dispatching the job, and then the technician. And then if you did want to add time tracking, it would be an additional $15 per user. Or if you wanted to add the preventative maintenance module, it would be an additional $15. So if you per user. So the base licenses do have to match the additional modules. So if I, for example, I had 6 people, 6 licenses, I would also, and I wanted the time card, I would have to have 6 time card licenses as well. So that would be $50. $50 per user, or if you wanted everything, it would be $65 per user. And I would say if you do want to add on one of these modules, I would say having a one-on-one consultation with me would be the best way to decide if those modules, would make sense for you. I'm just going to put my information back up on the screen here, so you can jot it down if you haven't already. And please don't hesitate to contact me after the webinar is over. Sorry, I don't know why my PowerPoint is not coming up here. Sorry. Sometimes this happens, even on a live meeting. I will just bring my information back up quickly. Okay, so here is my information. You can contact me at 651-927-8850 if you were interested in purchasing, and that would go directly through Intuit. I just have my own portal through Intuit. So if you are interested in purchasing or simply just learning more, just reach out to me and I'd love to do a consultation with you. Thanks so much for your time today, everybody. And I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Tune in every Wednesday at 10:30. Thank you. Bye-bye.